There's a ton of new weapons, new classes, new things to explode, and even a new boss in the new Dead Rails update. So if you guys enjoyed this update, make sure to like, subscribe, comment below what your favorite part of the update was, and make sure to join my Discord. Let's get right to the video. Alright guys, so what I'm going to be doing first is I'm going to be showing you guys about the newest classes in Dead Rails, and the first one is going to be Demolitionist. Now you guys have probably seen my video over Demolitionist, and basically Demolitionist passive is that you do not take any damage from explosives. Now this may seem like a very small thing at the start, but it's actually somewhat what makes Horse extremely good in this game. And the devs have also made it so that everything compounds, so everything that whenever something explodes, everything explodes. Literally every single thing will explode if it can explode when an explosion happens around it. Now those kegs right there actually do a ton of damage. They do a lot more damage than dynamite. They just take a while to light, so I'm assuming that's what the trade-off is. And Demolitionist does start with 1, and it starts with 4 landmines. Now, I'll show you what the landmines do a little bit later on in the video. But there are a few new things that you can put on the train, like landmines, that kill zombies when they step on it. Now, I will say the best part of this class is definitely the fact that you're immune to explosive damage. However, Horse also has that, but it is a good thing to have in case you don't have the Horse class. But in my opinion, I think Horse class is just a better version of this class. But it is a pretty fun class. I mean, you control your friends by exploding them, and you will take no damage from it. Alright, so the next class I'm going to be showing you guys is going to be the Hunter class. Now, unfortunately, guys, I think that there is quite possibly a class that rivals, and I'm being dead serious when I say this, I think there is finally a class that rivals Zombie in being how bad it actually is. And that class is going to be the freaking Hunter class. Now, if you guys aren't aware... What? Dude, the crossbow isn't even doing damage because I'm too close to him. Stop! I'm trying to tell them about the class! Thank you! So, if you guys are unaware about this class, first of all, it's very bugged, as you guys can see, so you can't hit things that are right next to you, apparently. But this class actually rivals Zombie, if not is significantly worse than Zombie, than for just being a class in this game. Now, I'm sure something you guys might think is like, oh, you spawn with a crossbow and bolts. That's a pretty cool thing. And yes, it is. It actually is extremely cool. It's a cool weapon. It's really bad, though. But it is a cool weapon. And if that was all it was, Hunter would actually be a pretty decent class. However, the side effect of Hunter is that it spawns werewolves instead of wolves with a 100% chance. So you are guaranteed to get wolves that spawn in your game. Werewolves. Every single time you see a wolf on like the side of the road right there, that's going to be a werewolf instead, guys. So this class is outrageously bad. To the point where I would even say that this class is, like, significantly worse than Zombie. Like, easily the worst class in the game. The only reason I think you would ever use this class is if you're trying to achievement hunt and you're looking to get the Werewolf Hunter achievement. That's the only reason you would ever use this class, guys. Crossbow's really bad. This class was a little bit different before. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to tell you guys, so I'm not going to. But the class was different before. It didn't always spawn with the crossbow. It spawned with a much better item. And, yeah, this class is just absolute buns, guys. Do not buy this class. I'm warning you now. It's really, really bad, and you're just going to cry if you get this class and try to play with it. Because you're gonna get ganged on by like 10 oiled up werewolves slapping your cheeks, man. So the last of the new classes is called President. Now, I think it's honestly a joke class. Basically what it does is it makes your range 2 times as big, so zombies will detect you from further away, and when you die, you actually get a soldier that spawns on your death. Now, he's supposed to be like a super soldier, and he does actually fire quite fast when he's actually reloading like that. And as you guys can see, I mean, like, it is a pretty good guy right here. It basically is just the turret guy that's in the base. He actually will spawn here, and he will, like, if you die, I'm pretty sure he can pretty much clear the first town for you, if I'm being honest. There is a werewolf right there, and, yeah, these guys cannot beat werewolves. Now, this will actually happen every single time you die, so if you have a doctor with you that can just keep reviving you, you guys can keep spawning this guy right here. It actually is an extremely good class in, like, team play. In solo, obviously, guys, it's worthless. There's no reason to ever play this class in solo. Because let's be real here for a second, like, if you're dead, your run's actually over if you're playing solo. But in team play, I can actually see this class being extremely good in team play. Just because if you have a bunch of bandages and you have a single president on your team, they could just die over and over again while they're getting revived, and you'll be able to clear out pretty much anything in the game because you can spawn them one after another. Now, keep in mind, you can only have one spawned at a time, so you have to wait until one dies. You can't just spawn like 20 of them. You have to wait until one dies to spawn it, but I actually do think the class will be pretty good in team. But however, in solo, it will be another completely worthless solo class, unfortunately for that. And it does happen every single time a president dies. So it is actually one per president right here. I'm pretty sure I'll die. Well, I want to die a little bit faster, please. All right, I guess we almost cleared out the full town with that single soldier right there. But each president can't actually spawn one. It is still better to only have one president on your team, just because you can, like... you need someone to keep reviving everybody. Like, usually, like, maybe a fast class like Horse or Vampire, just to swoop in, grab them, revive them, to spawn another one of these guys. But it's an okay class. It's just not meant for solo at all, and I only play this game solo. Alright, so now that I've shown you all the new classes, you guys are going to see the new weapons. Now, first of all, what I'm going to be showing you is probably my favorite weapon of the new ones. It is the Ballista. Now, the Ballista actually does about half the HP of a werewolf, and it actually does one-shot zombies. It also is insanely easy to hit zombies, in my opinion, and they do a little ragdoll after you hit them. As you guys can see, the bodies are going flying after I hit them. Look at that. Look at the little arrow. But this is my favorite weapon of the new ones. It has, like, a little bit of drop, so just keep that in mind when you're firing at, like, distant targets. But, guys, I love this weapon. It's a great weapon. It does a lot of damage to werewolves. It does a ton of damage to bosses. You get a ton of ammo whenever you get the Ballista, and it's just a really great weapon. Now, I'm going to be showing you guys the bear traps and the landmines real quick. So, the bear trap actually stops any enemy that stands on it for 5 seconds, but be aware, you can actually hit yourself with it. So, you got to be a little bit careful of that, guys. You can hit yourself with the bear trap, and yeah, that's not... You could die easily. Now, I'm going to try and get this fast zombie on here. Oh, almost stepped in the bear trap. All right. All right, so he's in the bear trap right now, so he can't move. And as you guys can see, it actually is a pretty good tool. And not when you... Oh, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. No! By the way, guys, the landmines also hurt you. If he would have stepped on that landmine, I guarantee you I would be dead right now. That's why I'm saying you have to be really careful with these bear traps right here. I'm going to try and get him to step on the landmine. There we go. Boom. And as you guys can see, it does a little bit of damage. It doesn't do that much damage, but it's kind of mid, honestly. It's not really that great of a weapon. The landmine's pretty mid, but the bear traps are actually extremely good against werewolves because they do get stopped by them. But these are all the things that you can actually put in your train. There's also the keg, which I showed you earlier. But obviously, as you guys saw earlier with the hunter class, a crossbow is another one of the new weapons. It's really bad, guys. I would recommend never buying this weapon if you see it in a shop anywhere. It is absolute buns. It is cheeks. It is terrible. It is a bad weapon, guys. I'm hoping it gets buffed. It should definitely, like, have some sort of side effect to it. One of the cool new weapons is actually the elephant rifle and the blunderbuss. These are the two weapons that are actually going to be pretty big, because you will actually find them in your run. Now, the blunderbuss is a 1 ammo shotgun that does an absolute ton of damage. And the spread on it when you fire from a range is actually smaller than a normal shotgun. So you can snipe a lot easier with the blunderbuss. That's what I'm trying to say right here. Now, the elephant rifle, it actually does the same damage as a rifle. So it one-shots to the head. It doesn't one-shot to the body. It does the same damage as a rifle. However, it does not have fall-off damage. As you guys can see, I one-shot from that distance. It doesn't have fall-off damage, so you're able to, you know, easily hit people and kill them. And also, it goes through armor. You're able to shoot people through armor with this, so it is really good against the new place of interest, which they all have armor. So if you plan on doing the new place of interest to get the other new weapon, I'll show you guys in a little bit. Definitely grab the elephant rifle because it'll be very good against all the people because literally everyone has armor. Even the boss has armor. And then obviously, as I was saying, the blunderbuss, it's a pretty cool weapon. I don't think I'll ever actually use the blunderbuss myself. I'd rather use a normal shotgun. But it is an okay weapon. It's not really that great or that, like, busted or anything like that. All of the new weapons are kind of bad, other than the ballista, in my opinion. But the elephant rifle has its use, as it doesn't have damage fall off, and you can shoot through armor with it. But blunderbuss is pretty bad. Elephant rifle, you know, obviously just that case. And crossbow is absolute buns. Cheeks weapon, terrible. Alright guys, it's time for probably the biggest part of the new update, which is the new place of interest to explore. Now, it is actually it's an old prison that has been changed into, like, looking like a fort. It's a really cool, like, base, in my opinion. Probably my favorite place of interest currently in the game right now, because I'm a big fan of medieval stuff, and yeah, they definitely went hard on that for this, as you guys will see here in a second. Now, like I said, the elephant rifle actually does go through armor, like you guys can see. And I'm just saying this right here, right now. If you plan on doing this place of interest and you're not playing werewolf or survivalist, good luck. Genuinely good luck. Because everyone has armor on. Some of them even have like breastplate armor on, like this guy right here. So all of them have armor. A lot of them have helmet armor. There's a ton of enemies that spawn at the same time. This is going to take an extremely long time to do if you're not playing a damage buffed class. So be prepared to spend a few nights in the prison. But yeah, as you guys can see, they're called Knights. It's actually a really cool base in my opinion. I really like it, you know. It's a place of interest. It's pretty similar to Fort, if I'm being honest with you, just because like the enemies, they spawn in different buildings. There's a melee ranged option. And I accidentally hit in the wrong spot right there. And yeah, as you guys can see, it's not hard to do if you're playing Survivalist and you have like the elephant rifle or something like that. There are a bunch of different buildings around here. This building specifically is a really neat one because it has a hole in the building, as I'll show you guys here in a second. But as you guys can see, there's a bunch of these prison buildings here, and they all have weapons that spawn in them. They could spawn with, like the blunderbuss is usually guaranteed. You're pretty much guaranteed to get snake oil. You get a bunch of really expensive items as well. And this is pretty much how you get all of the new weapons, other than the elephant rifle, I'm pretty sure, is that they all spawn in these buildings right here. And as you guys can see, it is it's pretty cool. I mean, like, this base is cool. There's ballistas up here. You have to use these gaps right here in the roof, as I'll show you guys here in a second. If you guys go into the max security building that has a hole in the roof right here, you can just walk up, boom, and then there will be some ladders right here that you can actually climb, get up. You can go into the roof, you walk over, like, you go to the back of the building, and then you walk across here, and you can hop up there. There's a crossbow that spawns in there, so you can grab a crossbow, even though crossbow is buns. And right here is quite possibly the best weapon in the entire game, right here, right now. Now, when you go to collect it, first of all, it takes an extremely long time to collect. I'm assuming they do this so, like, that you can't have the weapon for the boss fight, as you guys will see in a second. And, yeah. There's this boy, big boy right here. His name's Goliath, and he's a very big boy, and he has a lot of HP. Now, fortunately, he is not fast at all, and if you're using elephant rifle with survivalists, the headshots do a lot of damage to this guy. So he's not that hard to beat. But I will say this, if you get close to him, you're dead. So I recommend definitely grabbing some snake oils if you want to fight this boss right here, because if you get close to this boy right here, you will die. But like I was saying before, the best thing to use against him is obviously elephant rifle. You headshot him. Survivalist makes you do more damage. And you can sell his body, as I'll show you guys here in a second. I just want to go grab Excalibur real quick, which is this sword right here, which is quite possibly the best weapon in the entire game now. Now, like I said before, it takes a while to pull it out of the rock, but this thing, it's crazy good. It is a crazy good weapon. So every time you melee someone, it has a 20% chance to strike them with lightning. And it does one-shot werewolves, by the way, in case you're wondering, because I know Electrocutioner doesn't. This weapon does, guys. It does. Now, the best part about it is that because of the new melee weapon change, you can spam click the weapon to increase the chance of getting struck by lightning. Now, I will say this. If you're going to be using this weapon, I recommend getting armor and also having snake oils, because you're probably going to get hit because of the new melee weapon changes. But guys, trust me when I say this, man, this weapon is insanely good. I'm going to go show you guys this in a town. I'm also going to sell Goliath afterwards to show you that. And hey, look, Sterling spawned right there. Alright, like I said before, guys, I'm gonna show you guys quite possibly the new best weapon in the entire game. And I mean it when I say that, by the way. Like, you guys know I do a lot of tier lists, and I think Excalibur, when I do my weapon tier list, is probably gonna rank #1. Now, first of all, the sword just straight up does, like, a good amount of damage, even on fast swings. I am playing Survivalist, so you do have to keep that in mind, just because it will do a little bit more damage, but the lightning strikes will do the same amount of damage. Now, it is a 20% chance for enemies to get struck by lightning every time you swing. Now, I'm getting extremely unlucky right here. As you guys can clearly tell, I'm getting unlucky because I just hit that guy like 10 times and he didn't get struck by lightning. But it is purely kind of luck-based. Now, unfortunately about this weapon is that, like I said before, I do think that it is arguably the new best weapon in the entire game, just because you can one-shot werewolves with this. The lightning strike after you smack someone, it does enough damage to one-shot a werewolf. Now, the only issue with that is that you have to get into melee range with the werewolf, and you have to hit him enough times for it to actually activate. Now, that's kind of the downside of this weapon, is that, of course, it is a melee weapon. It's not a ranged weapon. I do think Electrocutioner still is arguably the best weapon, but the fact you don't need to reload this weapon, the fact it can probably reload Electrocutioner, by the way, just keep that in mind. You could probably reload Electrocutioner with this weapon. And not only that, but if you're playing a class like Werewolf or Milkman, then being in melee range is irrelevant because you have way more HP. You probably have armor by the time you get this weapon, and you're just going to be able to face tank and destroy absolutely everything that you see. So Now, I think this weapon could be the best new weapon in the game, depending on the class you play. If you're playing a fast class like Vampire, Werewolf, or Milkman, even Horse could probably use this weapon really well. Any class that is remotely fast will actually absolutely dominate with this weapon, and you'll be pretty much unkillable. Now, I don't know how it does against Tesla, because Tesla does so much damage on M1s, and the melee range was reduced, but I do think the weapon will be good against literally everyone else in the entire game. Now, real quick before I move on to the next part of the update, I just wanted to show you guys that you guys can sell Goliath and Excalibur. You can't sell Excalibur, actually. Wow, I didn't even realize that. That's not considered valuable. Well, guys, if I'm being honest with you, the prison is kind of buns to go to for money then. If you can't sell Excalibur, the only reason you would go is literally just to get this weapon, and you can't even sell it. So, I mean, I guess, like, the new area is really cool. I don't think it's all that useful to go to, if I'm being honest with you. You don't get much money out of it. You can loot all of the different buildings and get a little bit of money, but, like, things like Castle and Sterling is just going to be a lot better. I'm hoping this does get a value assigned to it. Maybe $200 would be quite good, since you fight a boss to get it. And, yeah, if you also want Blunderbuss, I guess you would go to the prison. You can't take the ballistas off the wall, though, so the only way to get ballista is I'm pretty sure you have to buy them from the general store right here, if I'm not mistaken. Now, real quick, there's a few small changes. There's some bug fixes that you guys might be interested in, and some new changes as well. So every time you join a game, there is now a party ID in the top left corner of the screen. Now your friends can actually join your game without actually being in the game beforehand, by just clicking join in the lobby, putting in the party ID, and they could just join your game straight up. Really, really good quality of life change. Honestly, I think it's a great addition. Most people probably won't use it, but for the few people that do, you probably will actually love that. Now, like I said before, explosions do set off other explosives. So dynamite and gunpowder kegs, watch out where you place them, because you can die because they will explode each other. Now, there are a few bugs that got fixed, like where you go into your inventory, and if you move items, like if you drop items in quick succession, it used to bug out your inventory, so it would be permanently open. That's fixed now. And they fixed the bug in the lobby where your time does actually go negative. Now, real quick, I just want to see how much the blunderbuss sells for. It doesn't sell. Elephant rifle sells for 60. Okay. So I'm guessing blunderbuss just can't be sold. All right. Well, I'm assuming these items are just bugged right now. I think Excalibur and all these items definitely are going to get values assigned to them. I don't see why they wouldn't. Let's just hope that it's going to be good, guys. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment below if you're part of the update. Make sure to join my Discord. Hope to see you next one. Peace out.